to Rockin' Country Radio, today's hottest country and more. Hello and welcome to Rockin' Country Radio. I'm your host, DJ Delta Dawn, and so glad to be here with you on your Monday evening. I hope that your weekend was wonderful. We had a great long weekend, holiday weekend, July 4th. Happy belated Independence Day to all of you out there, and I hope you had a great time, a great weekend. And I know many of you had a difficult time getting back in the swing, back in the grind today, and but you know, all Mondays are not lost. We've got a great show in store for you tonight. So if you're here with us, thank you so much. We're glad that you joined us. If you're brand new to our program, first-time listener, a huge round of applause for you. Thank you for joining us as well, and we hope this won't be your last time here. We're very excited about our show tonight, folks. Our guest is amazing. He's doing some wonderful things in the world of country music. He is a rising star. He has a great new single out, which is really getting a lot of buzz, a lot of airplay, and being talked about at length. And he is doing a lot of touring this summer, and so we are ecstatic that he is our guest this evening. We're actually waiting for him to call in now, so he's slightly delayed, but we will have him on the line shortly, I'm sure. And we're just very excited to have him with us. I want to give you a little background on who he is, just so you know what a treat it is to have him with us this evening. He hails from Covington, Ohio, and from very, very young age, he knew he wanted to be a singer-songwriter, country music star, and he really started his career probably, you know, as young as 3 years old. And he has done some amazing things. He went to college, and he always knew, despite that he wanted to be in country music, and that was his dream. And so he began packing bars of several universities at 23 years of age, and it wasn't long before people really started to sit up and take notice over who he was and his music. And so last summer he became sponsored by Jägermeister USA. He released his first debut album last November, Running with the Night, which quickly climbed the iTunes chart, peaking at number 30 on the day of its release, which is almost unheard of, because if you think about all the artists that are putting music out on the day of its release, to rank that high is pretty incredible. And it also checked in at number 5 on the Billboard Heat Seekers chart at the same time, and has received much recognition all around the world by some of his now almost 52,000 Twitter followers and fans. And since the album release, he has swamped the ticket booth, selling out a number of shows, and quickly becoming a notable country vision in states ranging from Wisconsin all the way to Texas. And while in between, he's played many late-night shows and road tours, and he's embarking on a new summer EP, has a brand new single out called I'm On It, which we're going to play a little bit later in the show. And I saw just recently he's going to be opening for Scotty McCreery later this week, and so that's pretty cool. Scotty McCreery, as you know, I'm from North Carolina. Scotty hails from North Carolina, and he's going to be performing with him July 10th at the American Music Theater in Lancaster, PA. So if you're going to be out there, you may want to be sure to check out our guest. And so while we're waiting for him to call in, we're going to go ahead and play his hit single called I'm On It. Our guest tonight is Clark Manson, and he will be with us shortly.
Late night front porch kiss weighing on me. Girl, I just can't help it. You got me smiling as I'm driving. I know you know what I'm thinking, so baby, give me a sign. I could turn it around, and I could blow every Yeah, we can take it inside. We can stay out on this old swing talking all damn night. I'm sure I got a heart full of sweet nothing to get you smiling as I'm eyeing those lips that keep me wishing that you would give me a sign. It's time to turn it around. And I could blow every little stop sign, hammer it down, pull me right for your drive, and we'll pick up where we left off. That's what you wanted, girl, I'm on it. If you're needing just one more kiss, we'll keep a girl there when life is. Just one call, that's all we need, and I'll be there in a moment. Girl, I'm on. Girl, I'm on. I get up all out, I park the brakes up in that truck, and there's a place in you saying, boy, you should turn it around. So I turn it around, slam that door, running right for your house in a moment. Yeah, girl, I'm on it. I've got the memory of a late night front porch kiss weighing on me.
That is the latest from Clark Manson. I'm on it, and we are very, very excited to welcome to our show tonight Clark Manson. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful, and it is so good to have you with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, I have to tell you right out of the gate that your song has quickly become one of my summer favorites. I love, well, it's one of my favorites in general, but, you know, there's so many great songs out there right now on the radio this summer, but yours just kind of rank. I've got my little personal playlist, but yours ranks right up there at the top, and I love that song. It is great. Your vocals are great. The music is great. It's just one of those great songs in general, just a feel-good song, and it gets stuck in your head, too, by the way.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's
well, it is an honor to have you with us. I've been following you on social media for a little while, and I know that you've been incredibly busy touring and playing a lot of dates, so to carve out any time for us is quite an honor and a privilege, so thank you so much.
Hey, no problem at all.
Well, I just have to kind of, first of all, congratulate you on your success thus far, because you kind of went from, as I was saying in my intro about you, kind of went from playing, bars on a few college campuses, and the word got around about how great an artist you were, and then the next thing you know, you pick up a sponsorship, and things just really started kind of taking off for you. I mean, it's been kind of like a thrill ride, I'm sure.
Yeah, it really has. Things really did take off really quick. Like I think you said about the first album, that did pretty well for a debut album for somebody that doesn't have a label or a management team at the time. And then we just put out a new EP a few weeks ago, and it debuted at number 9 on iTunes, and it's still up on the charts. So we're pretty happy to have that, and we have a pretty darn good agent right now with William Morris Endeavors, which they represent Luke Bryan, Cole Swindell, Blake Shelton, and a couple other big names. So they're helping out a lot now.
Yeah, just a few names no one knows, right?
Right.
You're in great company, my friend, I must tell you. Well, I was saying in the intro before you called in, it is almost when you think about iTunes and how big iTunes is, and you think about how many artists are releasing their music on a given day, to debut your debut album to debut at number 30 on the charts on the day you release it. I mean, that is pretty major. I mean, I'm sure that got a few people's heads turning and attention all around, because that's no small feat at all.
Yeah, it definitely turned a couple of heads and got the ball rolling for us. And, my goal for this new EP, we still are, right now, we're still independent, which is we're excited about because it gives us a lot more options, and we can kind of still do what we want for that time being and pick the right label that we want to go with. But I was almost told that making the top 10 without a label and radio play is almost impossible, except for a couple people have done it. So we ended up doing that, which we're really happy about too.
Yeah, another no small feat kind of accomplishment for you, and and that's just a real testament to your success. And what would you say on this new EP is different versus the last EP you released?
It's definitely recorded differently. I think if you listen to both of them, I used the same producer, the same players on it, but it just has a different sound to it. Especially the single I'm On It, I guess it has that really storyline to it, where if you really sit down and listen to the lyrics, you can definitely relate to it, and I feel like a lot of us have been there. So we definitely tried a lot harder when it came to writing songs that people could relate to, and there's definitely a lot of different stuff on there, like a song of How We Kick It has a lot of synth stuff on there and drum loops, and whereas I'm On It's pretty conservative when it comes to the arrangement and how it was recorded. Pretty not traditional country, but traditional to terms of today's modern country, I guess.
Oh yeah, and I think that's one of the appeals to this song that I love so much about it, is the fact that you've got so much of that country rock sound going on right now, which is huge and it's hot and it's happening. But I love the fact that you still got it's kind of a traditional sound, but it's relevant to now, and it works. It is
right.
The country fans love. I mean, the way country music has just exploded across the map. I mean, so many different genres are kind of starting to be incorporated in that. And I think at the end of the day, country fans still love that type of song because it really does pull at your heartstrings. People identify with it. And, you've got all your fun, feel-good music, which is awesome. But, people really like the realism of country music, and I think that's one of the big appeals to it,
Yeah, and I think our last record had tons of, rocky country songs on it that, are about the tailgate, the moonlight kind of stuff that you would hear on today's radio. And there's still some of that in the new EP as well, but I definitely wanted to find that song that kind of got away from that for a minute and, gave something a little new to what people aren't used to hearing this past year or two.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And what kind of feedback and response have you been getting to the song?
Great. We've had nothing but great responses about the single, and I've played it for some of the big songwriters in Nashville that write day-to-day hits for people, and they love the song, and they definitely think it's my best work so far. And it's definitely getting the ball rolling on that side of things too. For songwriting, I've met a lot of really great writers that I will definitely be working with on the next project, which hopefully will be soon. So, I mean, it's opened a lot of doors for us, which I'm really excited about because, a lot of times in this business, you only get one chance and one opportunity, so you got to do the best that you can do, while you have that short amount of time.
Oh, most definitely. Now, as I said earlier, you've been on tour quite a bit this summer already, but I was looking at your tour schedule the other day, and you're slam booked all the way into October. I mean, that's pretty extensive. For an unsigned artist who is going places, you are going places, no doubt.
Yeah, well, our tour dates are going to be a lot of fun too. We got a lot of really cool dates, and our agent knows what kind of crowd we like to play for, and he does a great job of doing that. Like you said, this Thursday we'll be with Scott McCreery out in Pennsylvania at a nice theater, and that'll be a lot of fun. But Friday we'll be playing at a place called Country Concert in Fort Lauderdale, Ohio, and they have 22 acts this year. Headliners are Luke Bryan, Four Door to Line, Miranda Lambert, Brantley Gilbert. I know Chase Rice is going to be there, Coolest Window, and we're lucky enough to be able to join that roster on Friday. So And that's just one of those things that you love to do. It's all outside, and everybody's going around having fun, drinking some beer, and it's just a feel-good atmosphere that you would love to play at because, you feel like you're one of them, too. And I'm just as much a country fan as I am an artist, too, so getting to see all my favorite guys play is a treat for us.
Well, and you're not just getting to see them. I mean, you're on tour with some great, great acts. I mean, not just Scotty McCreery, but Thompson Square. You've got a date with them this summer, Cole Swindell. I mean, Chase Rice, Sam Hunt. I mean, the Swan Brothers. I mean, my gosh, you're playing with some big-name people, and that's only going to open some serious doors for you from here continually,
Yeah, we're really excited because I know we just played a show. Well, I'm trying to think of who we were with a couple of weeks ago. I remember Jason Michael Carroll. We played a big show with him, and that was the night our new EP came out, so great response. Had a huge crowd that came to see us, which is always great. And then we had our own headline show the next night. I was outside. I was actually very close to my hometown, and we ended up having 3,200 people show up to see us, so that's always a huge thing when you go back to your hometown and see that big of a welcoming from, your peers, the people you grew up with.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, that's a proud moment for them as well to see one of their own go off and become successful, and they're watching your rise to fame and, in the music world just like you are, but it's kind of cool for them because you get to go back home and just still be Clark Manson, before the days of being on the road as a country artist, that's really kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that is really appealing to the fans, and we played a show with Dustin Lynch, and I know that a lot of people, this has been over a month ago, and a lot of people at that show, I mean, there's close to 4,000 outside of the fair, and before we hit the stage, a lot of people didn't know who we were, but afterwards, I mean, we just got flooded with people, and our social media got flooded. I think we gained like 1,000 new Twitter followers just from that show alone. But part of it is, like, me and my band, after every show, we always walk out into the crowd and make an effort to talk to people because I know when I was, a fan, if my favorite artist would have came out and talked to me or, just socialized with me a little bit, it would have been one of the coolest things, that ever happened. So I always think of things as a fan side, like what would I want to see when I went to a show? And that's what we try to do and keep that down-home feel to where, we're not better than anyone else. We're just like everyone else. We're just having a lot of fun on stage and get to do what we love.
Yeah, and that's an awesome. I mean, that has got to be the coolest thing in the world to when you were young. As I was telling the audience, that you kind of knew from a young age you were going to do this for a living, and it was a dream. But to finally be able to do it, I mean, it's got to be surreal for sure.
Oh yeah, it really is. It's not just I guess all the stuff that comes along with it, too, that you always dream about as a kid. You see a huge bus rolling down the road, and you always wonder, I wonder who's in that, or I'd love to get one of those. And the first time you step foot on one, you're just like, oh, my gosh, this is what this is like.
This is it.
It's just many things that you've thought about and you've seen your whole life when you go to these shows, or you always wonder what they're doing backstage before the show, and, that kind of stuff, which is cool to see.
And now you know. I mean,
you're part of.
You're getting to see it and live it. I mean, you are part of it. You are it backstage now, and all those cool things that you once dreamed about have become a reality. And speaking of that, I mean, I'm sure this has been an incredible journey thus far. And what is something that kind of just stands out for you? What is one of your favorite moments from all of this that you've experienced?
Man, let's see here. There's a couple. I mean, back where I'm from, there's country concert is a place to go. It's where we all went up growing up. It's really close to my hometown. And, no small acts has ever played there, no local acts ever played there. So it's one of the things you always go and you dream about wanting to play there. And when I got the call from the agent and they said, hey, they submitted an offer for you, that was one of those times like, wow, I did it. This is what I wanted to do. And, even if things go downhill from now and nothing comes out of it, I can always say this is the one place that I played at and wanted to play at. So that was a pretty surreal moment that I just will never forget. Another one actually kind of came to me this past weekend where we were on stage. We're playing with a guy named Dylan Scott. I think he just had a radio single hit today. But he's doing fantastic and has a big deal with Curb Records. And we were backstage talking to him, but when we went out on stage, big old crowd, pretty big. And when we played the song "Love It When You Drive," there's a radio station that plays the heck out of it over there. I could just see like the entire crowd singing every line. That's one thing you can only think of growing up. Is like, wow, everybody knows the words from the song that I wrote and recorded, sang. So that was a pretty awesome moment that I kind of just was stuck in and probably think about for a long time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so many, when you're on the road, especially when you're touring with other artists, there's so many memories that are being made as it is. And to have those standout moments that just really kind of concrete, and solidify for you that, yes, that dream you had as a little boy is now come true. And it just kind of reinforces that, hey, this is more than being surreal. This is it, and I'm living the dream, as they say, which I think is just awesome. Now, let's talk about your music in terms of, your songwriting. And I have always wondered, when you go out on the road and you're traveling all the time, do you ever get any time to just kind of carve out any time for songwriting, or does stuff hit you like as you're on the road, you get inspirations from different things because you see so many different things and places and people, and I imagine that would be just like a whole wealth of opportunity, but yet do you ever have the time to do that, though, is the question.
It's tough. It's tough. It really is. You always have that drive to want to write, and you always see something that makes you want to, but, you either got to rest or you always have somewhere to be and something to do. And it's always great when something runs as planned, like we'll show up to a show and, sound checks go great, setups go great, and then you got that few hours of time to kill. And, sometimes I like to sit down and write, but other times I try to, either go for a run or find the hotel gym, and that's always a good way to just kind of stay sane too. Is clear, have a nice run or workout or writing session. They're kind of all the same. Something, because it can eat you up. It really can. Just you're always thinking about something. You're thinking about what's next, and you're thinking about the next song and what are you going to do to record the next song. So it's all just a big bundle of thoughts, basically, when you're on the road.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah, we do get time sometimes, right? And that's one of my favorite things to do on the road too. But there is times where it's just not feasible.
Yeah, I imagine not, especially when you're playing back-to-back dates, and and you got to have, like you say, you got to have some sort of retain a little bit of sanity, to have a little sanity check, whether it's to go out and run or just to have some downtime, because that can be pretty stressful. I imagine, with touring and you're going from town to town, which is exciting, but it's a good kind of stress. It's just in a way. Well, let's talk about what's next. I know you've got this lofty tour, well into early fall, and is there, and the new EP is doing phenomenal, and gosh, in such a hurry it is. But are you already thinking about like what's to come down the road in terms of, new music, or when the next EP might be released, or what's your plans there?
Yeah. A lot of it kind of depends on the way after this summer and this fall. We got a lot of really big meetings that are going to determine our next steps from here. It's great. But I, to be honest with you, I'd love to have a full album out by next spring. The goal would be basically write all winter long and all fall and gather all my thoughts from this summer and try to put that into words and melodies and basically have just spent a lot of time. I've rushed some stuff in the past, and I love all the songs I've recorded so far, but I think there's just a whole nother level that we can take it up to if we really put in the time and write with a bunch of different writers and my co-writer Dusty, that we, can really sit down and for weeks upon weeks and just really bust something out, which I think we can do and we'll be able to do. I imagine we'd probably put out a single first and then release an album. But I don't know, at least a single by next spring would be the goal, if not before.
I almost believe that will happen because of your early success that you've had thus far. And if that's any indication, I just firmly believe that that's a very real possibility. And, of course, we anxiously await it because you are such a phenomenal artist. I mean, I love your work, and I love your music. As I said, you know, your song, your current single is one of my absolute favorites going right now, and it probably will be for a long time to come because it's just you know, in the midst of all the music we've got right now in country music that has that hard-driving party edge to it, I love the fact that I can just pop that on and just kind of, you know, debrief and kind of just have some downtime with that and really relax.
Right.
I mean, it's a great single to just kind of decompress to, I guess is what I was trying to say. And it's
exactly.
a good single. I mean, that people, you know, because you know as well as I that music is very cyclical, and what we're hearing right now in country music probably will not last forever. There'll be something else down the line that will come along. This is the kind of song, though, that's going to be relevant no matter how music changes.
Right.
I think it has the potential of being a classic at some point because it's just one of those that I think fans are just going to gravitate towards and go back to time and time again. It's going to be in their, you know, iPod or their phones or wherever they house it forever because it's just one that's never going to go away. It's going to be timeless. So, and of course, we're playing the heck out of it on our show, and we've incorporated it into our, you know, our rotation on our radio station. So, and we're getting so much great feedback on it. People love this song. I mean, and gosh, Twitter blows up. When anything we put out about you, if we're playing your song on our show or what have you, people are just retweeting it like crazy. It's like, really? It's very indicative of your fan base. You have a great fan base.
Yeah, we do have some awesome fans, especially on Twitter, which I'm thankful for, too. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of Twitter followers, but they, you know, don't interact with it. But our fans do a great job of interacting and, you know, being a part of it. And I think they know that we appreciate the heck out of that, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got it's a continually growing fan base. I mean, it is, it's not every day someone acquires 50,000+ followers on Twitter, which I'm sure for you is immensely difficult to keep up with. But, you know, that's a real testament to,
yeah.
It's a real testament to what you're doing out there on the road. It's having an impact, and people are loving it, you know.
I hope it keeps up, and hopefully that number doubles here soon. And I have high expectations for the future, and I know if we keep things going the way it's going, keep working hard, there's no reason why things shouldn't keep going steady. So I hope that's the case.
Well, I just have to say before we close that, you know, you're playing with Scotty McCreery later this week. You've already performed with Jason Michael Carroll. These are North Carolina boys, I'm telling you, born and bred North Carolina. So you got to tell your promoter, we got to get you to North Carolina because I would love to get out to see you live. And I think the closest you're coming to me in the near future is Fredericksburg, Virginia. But
right.
gosh, we'd love to get you here. You know, it would be awesome. So maybe down the road it'll be on your tour schedule. I'll keep watching, believe me. But that would be a great thing. For sure, that would be. Well, you got to hit North Carolina. I mean, it's like one of the biggest states with country. I think we have more country music fans than we do any other here in North Carolina. So, and a lot of great venues to play as well. So, we're going to have to hook you up for sure.
Hey, when I come in there, I'll let you know, and we'll have to meet up.
Hey, that sounds good. That sounds great. Well, Clark, I tell you, this has been a blast, and really do love all that you're doing in the world of country music. Love the new single, and just want to thank you so much for being our special guest and congratulate you again on all your early success and wish you so much more to come and all the best.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, and I really appreciate you guys playing all the tunes.
We're glad to do it. We're happy to promote you as much as you need us to. So just keep the new singles coming. We'll keep playing them, man.
Will do.
All right. Take care and keep rocking, and we'll see you out on the road.
Hey, see you later. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Clark Manson, ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful, wonderful artist. And I must tell you, if you've not heard his single, I'm on it, then it's a great single, and you got to check it out. Now, we did play it at the top of the show, so if you have missed it and you're just joining us late or whatever, you can catch that on our radio station over at live365.com. If you just search for Rockin' Country Radio, we've got it in rotation over there. We also, it'll be in this interview tonight, and we have been playing it on our Saturday weekly music show. So you can catch it there. Just go over to Spreaker.com, look for Rockin' Country Radio, and just pull up any of our recent shows, and you'll find it there. So we want to thank Clark Manson again for being our special guest this evening, and many thanks to all of you for joining us. And if you're brand new to our show, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you here. And just so you know, we are here every Monday through Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We're very excited. This is a brand new show, but we're not brand new to the world of radio. So we're glad to be doing this show. We're very excited. We've got lots of guests booked that are going to be coming. So just go and visit our website. I'll be running a promo in a moment to let you know where you can follow us on social media, and go check out our website to see all the great guests that we have lined up. But we are excited, and we can't wait to unveil all the things we've got going on. So for Rockin' Country Radio, I am your host, DJ Delta Dawn. We'll be back here again with you tomorrow evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Hope you can join us. Thank you, and enjoy your evening. Have a great one. God bless, and good night. Check out Rockin' Country Radio on the web. Find us at RockinCtryRadio.com, on Twitter at Rockin_CTRY, and on Facebook at Rockin' Country Radio.